The warning. The alien council ship, Zephyrian, hovered silently in the dark void of space, its sleek surface glinting faintly against the light of distant stars. Inside, the Grand Hall buzzed with activity as the most powerful leaders of the Galactic Alliance gathered. These were not ordinary beings. They hailed from planets with ancient civilizations, each more advanced than the next. They had conquered countless worlds, bending entire species to their will. Today, their attention was fixed on a small blue-green planet rotating in the far corner of an unremarkable galaxy, Earth. "They call it Earth," said Commander Vashkor, his voice sharp and commanding. His reptilian features gleamed under the pale glow of the holographic projector displaying Earth's image. A primitive world. Their species is known as humans, barely evolved. A ripple of laughter spread across the room. "These humans," continued Vashkor, "have sent us a message, a warning, no less." The laughter stopped. The council members leaned in closer, intrigued. "What kind of warning?" asked Elder Solix, his voice slow and calculated. He was the oldest and wisest among them, a being of pure energy encased in shimmering armor. Vashkor tapped a clawed finger on the console. The message appeared, written in the universal language. It read, "Do not provoke us." The room fell silent. For a moment, the council processed the audacity of such a message. "Do not provoke us," a counselor scoffed. "Are these humans delusional? They are barely capable of space travel." Another counselor chimed in. "This must be a bluff, a desperate attempt to appear stronger than they are." Vashkor nodded. "That is my assessment as well. Their technology is primitive, their defenses laughable. Conquering Earth will be no different than crushing an insect." But Elder Solix raised a glowing hand, signaling for silence. "And yet," he said slowly, "they dared to send this message. Why?" The question lingered in the air. No one had an answer. "Perhaps they have allies," suggested one counselor. "Unlikely," replied another. "Our scouts found no evidence of intergalactic contact." "Then it is arrogance," said Vashkor. "They think they can intimidate us. It's time we show them the consequences of such foolishness." A murmur of agreement spread through the room. The council voted unanimously to proceed with the invasion. As preparations began, Solix remained silent, his glowing form pulsing faintly. He had seen countless species rise and fall, but something about the humans unsettled him. They were different. Their history was filled with wars, struggles, and survival against impossible odds. "Commander," Solix finally said, "do not underestimate them." Vashkor smirked. "I won't, but this will be over before they know we've arrived." Far away on Earth, in a secret underground facility, a group of human leaders and scientists watched the Alien Council's discussions through intercepted transmissions. "They're coming," said Dr. Elise Carter, a sharp-eyed scientist with years of experience studying extraterrestrial life. "Just as we predicted." General Harris, a tall man with a hardened expression, nodded grimly. "Good. Let them come." Around the room, the team prepared for the inevitable. They had known about the aliens for years, ever since the first scout ships appeared in Earth's orbit. Quietly, they had been studying their technology, analyzing their weaknesses, and preparing countermeasures. "Do you think the message was enough to lure them?" one scientist asked. "It was perfect," Elise replied. "Their arrogance won't let them ignore it. They think we're weak. And that's our advantage," Harris added. "We've been underestimated before. Let's make sure this is their biggest mistake." The room fell into a focused silence as plans were finalized. Weapons systems powered up, and hidden defense grids activated. Back on the Zephyrian, Vashkor stood in the command chamber, watching as the alien fleet assembled. Hundreds of massive ships, armed with weapons capable of destroying entire cities, were ready for deployment. "Begin the invasion," he ordered. The fleet moved swiftly, heading toward Earth with unmatched speed. Vashkor watched the planet grow larger on the holographic display. confident in their victory. But deep in his chest, a flicker of doubt lingered, a doubt he refused to acknowledge. After all, what could a species like humans possibly do against the might of the Galactic Alliance? As the ships entered Earth's orbit, the alien council prepared to issue their ultimatum: surrender or be annihilated. But before they could, their communication systems faltered. Strange interference scrambled their signals. "What's happening?" Vashkor demanded. "Unknown interference," replied a technician, panic in his voice. Then, a single message appeared on every screen aboard the Zephyrian. "You were warned." For the first time in his long career, Commander Vashkor felt a chill run down his spine. First contact. The alien fleet descended into Earth's atmosphere with precision and confidence. From the command ship Zephyrian, Commander Vashkor observed the operation, his reptilian eyes gleaming with satisfaction. The planet appeared quiet, too quiet. "Earth's resistance is non-existent," reported Lieutenant Zura, her voice laced with amusement. "No military response, no countermeasures detected. This is almost too easy." Vashkor nodded, the corner of his scaled mouth curling into a smirk. "Deploy the scout team. I want a full survey of their cities. We will capture their leaders by dawn." The alien scout ship hovered silently above a sprawling human city, its metallic surface reflecting the glow of streetlights below. 5 heavily armed aliens disembarked, their boots clicking against the pavement as they spread out to explore. The streets were deserted. No cars moved, no humans walked about. Only the faint hum of streetlights and the distant rustle of the wind broke the eerie silence. "This is strange," muttered Kale, the youngest of the alien team. His reptilian fingers tightened around his plasma rifle as his eyes scanned the empty surroundings. "Where are the humans?" "Probably hiding," scoffed Captain Draktil, their leader. "They know they can't win. Pathetic creatures." The team advanced cautiously, their movements precise and synchronized. As they passed towering skyscrapers and abandoned vehicles, they couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. "Captain," Kel whispered, his voice trembling slightly. "The air feels heavy. Something's not right." "Stay focused," Draktil snapped. "Humans are cowards. They won't dare." Suddenly, the streetlights flickered and went out, plunging the city into darkness. "What happened?" Draktil barked, his sharp eyes darting around. Before anyone could answer, a faint sound echoed through the empty streets. It was rhythmic, deliberate, like the steady beat of footsteps. "Formation," Draktil ordered, his team forming a tight circle with weapons raised. The sound grew louder, closer. It wasn't just footsteps now. There was something else, a faint hum, mechanical and unsettling. "Visuals," shouted Kel, activating his helmet's thermal sensors. But the screen remained blank. No heat signatures. He whispered, panic creeping into his voice. "That's impossible." Then it happened. A blinding flash erupted from a nearby alley, and a wave of energy swept through the air, short-circuiting the aliens' equipment. Plasma rifles fizzled out, communication devices went dead, and even their armored suits powered down. "Ambush," Draktil roared, his voice echoing through the darkness. From the shadows, figures emerged. They moved swiftly, silently, their shapes barely visible in the faint moonlight. These weren't just humans. They were soldiers, dressed in advanced combat suits that absorbed light, making them almost invisible. The aliens fought back with brute strength, but the humans were faster, smarter. One by one, the aliens fell, their advanced training and technology rendered useless against the humans' guerrilla tactics. Draktil, now the last alien standing, raised his claws in defiance. "Show yourselves," he bellowed. A single figure stepped forward, a human in a sleek black suit. The visor of the helmet lifted, revealing a young woman with piercing eyes. "You should have listened to the warning," she said calmly. Draktil lunged at her with a roar, but before he could strike, A pulse of energy from her weapon sent him sprawling to the ground, unconscious. Back aboard the Zephyrian, alarms blared as the scout team's life signals went offline. "Commander," a technician stammered, "we've lost contact with the ground team." Vashkor's smirk vanished. He slammed a clawed fist onto the console. "How? What could possibly?" "Incoming transmission," interrupted another technician. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the same woman who had confronted Draktil. She stood confidently, her sharp gaze fixed on Vashkor. "This is Captain Maya Carter of Earth's Defense Forces," she said. "Your team is neutralized. Your invasion ends here." Vashkor snarled. "You dare threaten us? Your primitive world is no match for our fleet." Maya tilted her head, a faint smile playing on her lips. "Primitive, perhaps. But tell me, Commander, how does it feel to lose your first battle?" Before he could respond, the transmission ended. The screen went dark, leaving the alien council in stunned silence. "Commander," Zyra whispered, her voice shaky, "their technology. It's not what we expected. They've adapted." "Impossible," Vashkor growled. But deep down, he felt the first seeds of doubt taking root. On Earth, Maya Carter stood over the unconscious body of Draktil. Around her, her team worked swiftly to secure the alien weapons and equipment. "Good work, everyone," she said. "Phase 1 is complete. Prepare for the next wave." As she looked up at the night sky, where the alien fleet loomed like a distant storm, she allowed herself a brief moment of satisfaction. "They thought we were weak," she murmured to herself. "They have no idea what they're up against." The humans were ready. The first contact had been made, and the battle for Earth was just beginning. The trap. High above Earth, the Zephyrian orbited in a tense silence. The loss of the scout team was a blow to the alien fleet's pride, but Commander Vashkor refused to admit defeat. He paced the command deck, his claws clicking rhythmically against the polished floor. "They were an expendable unit," he muttered. "This changes nothing. We will proceed with a full-scale invasion. I want this planet subdued by sunrise." Elder Solix's glowing form pulsed faintly in the corner of the room. "And yet," Solix said calmly, "the humans defeated your team without losing a single soldier. You underestimate them." Vashkor glared at him. "Enough of your warnings, Solix. This planet is a backwater world. These humans have no real power." Solix's glow dimmed slightly. "You may find that the smallest creatures can bite the hardest when cornered." Meanwhile, on Earth, Captain Maya Carter and her team prepared for the next phase of their defense. Inside an underground command center, monitors displayed a live feed of the alien fleet hovering ominously above. "They'll retaliate," said General Harris, his voice steady but grim. "It's only a matter of time." Maya nodded. "Good. That's exactly what we want." The room buzzed with activity as technicians and engineers worked to finalize their trap. Human ingenuity was on full display. Alien technology salvaged from the scout team had been reverse-engineered in mere hours. What the aliens saw as primitive humans, the humans saw as an opportunity. "Is the grid ready?" Maya asked, turning to Dr. Elise Carter. Elise gave a sharp nod. "It's ready. Once they enter the city, we'll trigger the electromagnetic pulse. It'll knock out their systems, just like we did with the scouts." "And if it doesn't work?" Harris asked. Maya's expression hardened. "Then we fight with everything we have." Back on the Zephyrian, Vashkor ordered an entire battalion to deploy to the surface. This time, it was no small scouting party. Hundreds of soldiers in heavily armored dropships descended upon the city Maya and her team had chosen as their battlefield. The dropships landed in tight formation, and alien soldiers poured out, their weapons at the ready. The city was still eerily silent, just as it had been during the first landing. "Spread out," barked Major Krell, the leader of the battalion. "Find the humans and eliminate them." The aliens moved methodically through the empty streets, scanning every building and alleyway. Yet, just like before, there were no humans in sight. "Why is it so quiet?" Krell muttered, his clawed hand tightening on his weapon. Suddenly, the lights in the city flickered, just as they had during the scouts' mission. This time, however, the flickering wasn't random. It formed a pattern, dots and dashes. One of the soldiers, an expert in ancient galactic languages, gasped. "It's a message, sir." "What does it say?" Krell demanded. The soldier hesitated, then replied, "It says, run." Before Krell could process the warning, a deafening pulse swept through the city. The electromagnetic grid activated, disabling every alien weapon and vehicle. Soldiers cried out as their armor systems failed, leaving them vulnerable and exposed. From their hidden positions, human forces emerged. They moved with precision, armed with a mix of alien weapons and their own technology. What the aliens had dismissed as primitive firearms were now enhanced with energy cells salvaged from alien rifles. The battle was swift and brutal. The aliens, now stripped of their technological advantage, were no match for the humans' resourcefulness. Soldiers who had never fought a day in their lives fought like seasoned warriors, their movements guided by years of training and survival instincts. Maya led the charge, her modified energy weapon slicing through the alien ranks. "Push them back," she shouted. "They're not invincible." The aliens tried to regroup, but the humans were relentless. They fought with a fury born of desperation and determination, their every move calculated to exploit the aliens' weaknesses. High above, aboard the Zephyrian, Vashkor watched in horror as his battalion was systematically defeated. The live feed from the surface showed his soldiers retreating, their once mighty weapons reduced to useless scraps of metal. "How is this possible?" he roared. "They're just humans. They're survivors," Solix said quietly. "You underestimated them, Commander. And now you are paying the price." Vashkor turned to his officers. "Send reinforcements. Every available soldier. Now." "They'll be walking into another trap," Solix warned. "I don't care," Vashkor snapped. "I will not be humiliated by these creatures." On the ground, the last of the alien battalion fell. The city was littered with the remains of alien weapons and armor, now in human hands. Maya stood amidst the chaos, her face smeared with dirt, but her eyes blazing with determination. "This was just the beginning," she said, addressing her team. "They'll come back, and when they do, we'll be ready." As she spoke, a faint hum filled the air. Above them, the alien fleet began to move. Hundreds of dropships descended, signaling the next wave of the invasion. Maya looked up, a fierce smile playing on her lips. "Let them come," she said. "We're just getting started." The trap had worked, but the war was far from over. Human secrets. The alien reinforcements poured into Earth's atmosphere, their numbers overwhelming. From the command deck of the Zephyrian, Commander Vashkor barked orders, his frustration evident. "Deploy all available forces. I want this planet crushed before they can regroup." Elder Solix, observing from the shadows, spoke softly. "They will not fight you in the way you expect." "What are you implying now, Solix?" Vashkor snapped. Solix's glow pulsed faintly. "Humans do not follow conventional tactics. They thrive in chaos, and the more you pressure them, the more dangerous they become." Vashkor dismissed the elder's words, determined to assert his dominance. But deep down, a seed of doubt had been planted. On the ground, Captain Maya Carter and her team prepared for the next phase. In the underground command center, holograms of the alien fleet moved across the table. "They're sending everything they've got," said General Harris, his tone grim. Maya nodded. "Good. The more they send, the more we can learn." Dr. Elise Carter stepped forward, holding a tablet displaying streams of alien data. "We've made progress with their technology. The electromagnetic pulse worked perfectly, but we found something bigger." "What is it?" Maya asked, leaning in. Elisa's voice dropped to a whisper. Their technology isn't just advanced. It's adaptable, but so are we. We've managed to reverse engineer their neural network systems. If we can hijack their command signals, we can control their ships. The room went silent. Harris raised an eyebrow. Are you saying we can turn their fleet against them? Elise smiled. Exactly. The alien forces landed in the ruins of the city, their weapons drawn. This time, they expected resistance, but the streets were eerily quiet once again. Major Krell, leading the new battalion, growled in frustration. They're toying with us. Spread out. Find them. As the aliens moved through the rubble, a faint sound began to echo. It was music, human music, upbeat and defiant. It blared from speakers hidden throughout the city, mocking the invaders. What is this nonsense? Krell demanded, his claws tightening on his weapon. The music was followed by a voice, calm and confident. It was Maya. Welcome back, invaders, she said. You didn't listen to our warning, and now you're here. But tell me, how does it feel to be hunted? Before Krell could respond, explosions rocked the city. Buildings collapsed, cutting off escape routes, and electromagnetic pulses surged again, disabling alien systems. The aliens tried to regroup, but this time, they faced a new challenge. Drones, small, fast, and armed with energy-based weapons, swarmed the skies. These weren't alien drones. They were human creations, enhanced with alien technology. They're using our own systems against us. An alien soldier shouted. The humans, hidden in underground tunnels, controlled the drones remotely. They targeted the aliens with surgical precision, minimizing human risk while maximizing alien casualties. Back on the Zephyrian, the command deck was in chaos. Reports flooded in about malfunctioning equipment, downed soldiers, and human attacks. Commander, a technician cried. They breached our neural network. They're hijacking our systems. Vashkor's eyes widened in disbelief. Impossible. How could they? Solix's voice cut through the panic. You underestimated their minds. They are not just warriors. They are creators, problem solvers. You gave them your technology, and they improved it. Vashkor clenched his fists. They are pests, nothing more. Pests, Solix said softly, that have turned your own weapons against you. In the human command center, Elise worked feverishly at her station, surrounded by glowing screens. We've gained partial control of their fleet, she announced. It's not perfect, but we can redirect some of their ships. Maya stepped forward, her eyes focused. What's the plan? We use their own ships to attack their forces, Elise replied. It'll create chaos in their ranks. Do it, Maya said without hesitation. Above Earth, several alien ships broke formation. Their weapons turned, firing on their own fleet. What's happening? Vashkor roared, watching in horror as his ships engaged each other. They've taken control of a subset of our fleet. A technician stammered. Shut them down. We're trying, Commander, but their infiltration is spreading. Vashkor turned to Solix, his voice a mixture of rage and desperation. What do we do? Solix's glow dimmed. You provoked them. Now you face the consequences. On the ground, the alien battalions were in disarray. Their once coordinated attacks had devolved into chaos as human-controlled alien ships rained fire from above. Maya led her team through the battlefield, taking out stragglers and securing more alien tech. Keep moving, she shouted. We're not done yet. Elisa's voice crackled through the comms. We're picking up a retreat signal. They're pulling back. Maya paused, looking up at the sky where the alien fleet was in full retreat. No, she said firmly. They're regrouping. This isn't over. In the depths of the Zephyrian, Vashkor slammed his fist against the console. This isn't a battle. It's a disaster. Solix, now standing at the center of the room, spoke with quiet authority. You were warned. Humans are not like the others we've conquered. They are a species forged in adversity. Every attempt to crush them only makes them stronger. Vashkor's eyes burned with fury. I will not retreat, not to these creatures. Then prepare to lose everything, Solix said, his glow intensifying. The humans had revealed their greatest secret. They were not just survivors. They were innovators, and they were ready to fight for their home with every ounce of their strength. The battle was far from over. But for the first time, the aliens realized they might not win. The turning point. The Zephyrian was in chaos. The once pristine command deck was a storm of panicked voices, alarms, and flashing red lights. Commander Vashkor stood at the center, his claws gripping the edge of the control panel so tightly that cracks formed in the alloy. They've hacked into our systems, a technician reported, his voice shaking. They're disabling our defensive shields, redirecting our weapons. And, Vashkor snapped. The technician hesitated before continuing. They've accessed the central command codes. They're trying to override our fleet's mainframe. Vashkor roared in frustration, his tail slamming against the floor. How can this be happening? They're primitives. Elder Solix stepped forward, his glowing form casting a strange light over the chaotic room. You have made a grave error, Commander. You thought their lack of technology meant they lacked intelligence. But humans adapt. They learn. And now you are facing the consequences of your arrogance. Vashkor turned on him, his eyes blazing. Enough with your riddles. Tell me how to stop them. You cannot. Solix replied simply. The humans have reached the turning point. They have weaponized your own strength against you. On Earth, Captain Maya Carter stood in the underground command center, her gaze fixed on the central screen. It displayed the alien fleet's ships, glowing red markers that represented hostile units. Slowly, one by one, the markers turned blue, signifying human control. We've taken over 30% of their fleet, Dr. Elise Carter announced, her fingers flying across the keyboard. Their systems are more fragile than we thought. It's like pulling threads out of a web. The more we disable, the more the whole structure collapses. General Harris crossed his arms, his face unreadable. What's stopping us from taking over the entire fleet? Elise frowned. Their central command core. It's heavily encrypted. We can't crack it remotely. Maya stepped forward. Then we do it directly. If we can take control of their flagship, the rest will follow. That's a suicide mission, Harris said. Maybe, Maya admitted. But it's the only way. Every second we wait, they'll adapt to our attacks. We need to strike now. Harris sighed, then nodded. What do you need? Maya turned to Elise. How close can we get to their flagship without being detected? Elise smiled. With their systems in disarray. Closer than they'd like. In the dead of night, a small human shuttle launched from Earth, its surface coated with stealth technology salvaged from the aliens. Inside, Maya and her team prepared for the mission of their lives. You all know the stakes, Maya said, her voice calm but firm. If we take control of their flagship, this war is over. If we fail, well, we don't fail. Her team nodded, their expressions grim but determined. Each of them carried a weapon modified with alien tech, and their suits were equipped with countermeasures against the aliens' energy-based attacks. As they approached the Zephyrian, Elise's voice crackled through the comms. You're in their blind spot. I've disabled their proximity sensors, but you'll only have a few minutes to breach the hull. Understood, Maya replied. The shuttle latched onto the Zephyrian's exterior, and Maya's team moved quickly, cutting through the hull with a plasma torch. Once inside, they navigated the dimly lit corridors, avoiding alien patrols. In the command deck, alarms blared. Commander, a technician shouted. We've detected a breach in the lower levels. Vashkor's eyes narrowed. Humans, he hissed. They've come to finish this. Solix's glow pulsed brighter. And so, the hunters become the hunted. Are you ready for this moment, Commander? Vashkor ignored him, barking orders to his security teams. Intercept them. Do not let them reach the command core. Maya and her team moved with precision, their every step planned and deliberate. Alien soldiers confronted them, but the humans fought back fiercely. They used the narrow corridors to their advantage, funneling the aliens into traps and taking them down one by one. At last, they reached the command core, a massive, glowing sphere surrounded by alien machinery. "This is it," Maya said. "Elise, we're in position." Elise's voice came through the comms. "Good. I'm patching you into their network now. You'll need to manually override the core to take full control." Maya stepped forward, placing a small device on the core. Lights flickered as the device activated, sending a surge of energy through the system. "Commander," a technician shouted from the command deck. "They've breached the core. They're overriding our controls." Vashkor roared in fury. "Shut it down. Shut everything down." "It's too late," Solik said quietly. "The humans have won." The command core flickered, then went dark. When it reactivated, the lights across the Zephyrian turned blue. Maya's voice echoed through the ship's intercom. "This is Captain Maya Carter of Earth's Defense Forces. Your ship is under our control. Surrender now, or we will take further action." The alien soldiers hesitated, their weapons lowering. For the first time, they felt fear, not just of the humans, but of their own leader's failure. Vashkor slumped in his chair, his confidence shattered. They defeated us." Solik stepped forward, his glowing form now radiating brightly. "You provoked them. And now you see the price of underestimating humanity. The turning point has come." Maya's team returned to Earth victorious, but they knew the fight wasn't over. The fleet was crippled, but the war was far from won. However, for the first time, humanity had turned the tide, proving that even the most powerful invaders could be outsmarted by a species driven by survival and unrelenting determination. The retreat. The Zephyrian drifted silently above Earth, its massive frame now under human control. What was once the pride of the alien fleet had become a symbol of their greatest failure. Across the planet, celebrations erupted as humans realized their unexpected victory. But in the command deck of the captured flagship, Captain Maya Carter and her team remained focused. "This isn't over yet," Maya said, her voice cutting through the room. Dr. Elise Carter, monitoring the alien fleet's movements from a terminal, nodded in agreement. "They're regrouping. The remaining ships are retreating, but not far. They're consolidating their forces just outside Earth's orbit." General Harris crossed his arms, his expression grim. "They're planning a counterattack." Maya glanced at the central display, showing the retreating ships. "Not if we strike first." "Elise, how much control do we have over the Zephyrian?" "Almost complete," Elise replied. "We've locked out their command codes, and their fleet can't override our systems. But their other ships are still functional." "That's enough for now," Maya said. "If we can use the Zephyrian to disrupt their formation, we might have a chance to force a full retreat." In the remnants of the alien fleet, chaos reigned. Without the Zephyrian's guidance, the remaining ships were disorganized, their leadership scrambling to establish order. On board the second command ship, Critharian, Acting Commander Zura took charge. Her sharp features were tense, her voice steady but cold. "We've underestimated the humans," Zyra admitted to her officers. "But this isn't over. Prepare the fleet for a counteroffensive. We'll strike before they can consolidate their position." One officer hesitated. "Commander, with respect, their ability to adapt is unprecedented. Should we not consider retreating further to regroup?" Zyra's eyes narrowed. "Retreat? To a species that crawled out of the mud? Never." The fleet began to reform, preparing for a desperate assault to reclaim their honor. On the Zephyrian, Maya's team worked quickly to prepare for the next phase. Human engineers and soldiers moved through the alien corridors, adapting their systems for Earth's use. "This ship is massive," one soldier said, marveling at the alien technology. We could defend the entire planet with just this. We're not here to defend, Maya corrected. We're here to win. Elisa's voice crackled over the comms. The alien fleet is repositioning. If they attack now, we won't have time to intercept. Maya's jaw tightened. Then we'll take the fight to them. The Zephyrian powered up, its engines roaring to life under human control. From Earth, the sight of the alien flagship moving out of orbit was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Are you sure about this? Harris asked, standing beside Maya on the bridge. Maya gave him a faint smile. We didn't come this far to back down now. The Zephyrian surged forward, heading straight for the alien fleet. Inside, human soldiers prepared for the worst, knowing they were outnumbered and outgunned. But they also knew they had something the aliens didn't: hope. On the Critharian, alarms blared as the human-controlled Zephyrian appeared on their sensors. They're advancing, an officer shouted. Impossible, Zyra muttered. They don't have the numbers for a full-scale assault. But as the Zephyrian approached, it unleashed a barrage of firepower, targeting the alien fleet's weakest points. Ships exploded, their formations crumbling under the sudden attack. They're not fighting to destroy us, Zyra realized, her voice rising in panic. They're fighting to scatter us. The human strategy became clear. Instead of engaging the entire fleet head-on, the Zephyrian focused on breaking their unity. Disorganized and vulnerable, the alien ships began retreating further into space. Inside the Zephyrian, Elise monitored the battle with laser focus. It's working, she said. Their fleet is falling apart. Maya nodded. Good. Keep the pressure on. We need them to retreat beyond Earth's orbit. Suddenly, a warning light flashed on Elise's console. Incoming transmission, she said. From the aliens? Harris asked. No, Elise replied, her brow furrowing. It's from Earth. The transmission crackled to life, revealing the face of an older man in a military uniform. This is Admiral James Price, commanding officer of Earth's Orbital Defense Network. Captain Carter, do you copy? Maya's eyes widened. Admiral, I didn't think anyone survived the first wave. We did, Price said, his voice steady. And we've been watching. You've done well to take control of that ship, but we're ready to assist. What's your status? Maya asked. We've salvaged enough alien tech to power our defense stations, Price replied. If you can push their fleet into range, we'll finish the job. Maya's expression hardened. Understood. Let's end this. The Zephyrian unleashed another devastating volley, driving the alien fleet closer to Earth's orbital defenses. As the alien ships crossed the threshold, Earth's defense stations powered up, firing beams of concentrated energy. The combined assault was too much for the alien fleet to handle. One by one, their ships were destroyed or forced to retreat beyond the solar system. On the Critharian, Zyra clenched her fists, her pride shattered. Order a full retreat, she said bitterly. This battle is lost. The alien fleet vanished into the depths of space, leaving Earth victorious. On board the Zephyrian, cheers erupted as the realization set in. They had won. Maya stood silently on the bridge, watching the remnants of the alien fleet disappear. This isn't the end, she said quietly. They'll be back. Harris stepped beside her. Then we'll be ready. Maya turned to Elise. How much of their technology can we integrate? Elise smiled faintly. Enough to make sure they never catch us off guard again. Far away, on a distant planet, the Alien Council convened in the aftermath of their defeat. Elder Solix, glowing faintly, addressed the shaken leaders. You ignored my warnings, he said. You thought the humans were weak, but they are stronger than you can imagine. The next time you face them, remember this. Their strength is not in their technology, but in their spirit. The council fell silent, their arrogance shattered. For the first time in millennia, they faced an enemy they could not conquer. And on Earth, humanity prepared for whatever came next, knowing they had earned their place among the stars. The final lesson. The Earth stood victorious, but scars from the battle were everywhere. Cities lay in ruins, skies darkened with debris, and millions of lives had been forever changed. Yet, amidst the devastation, humanity rose stronger than ever. On board the Zephyrian, now a symbol of Earth's defiance, Captain Maya Carter and her team prepared for the next steps. "We've done the impossible," General Harris said, standing beside Maya on the bridge. "But what comes next won't be easy." Maya nodded, her eyes scanning the stars. "They'll regroup. The question isn't if they'll come back, it's when." Elise Carter entered the room, her expression grim but determined. "We've integrated as much of their technology as we could. Their neural networks, weapons systems, propulsion, it's all ours now. But there's something else you need to see." Maya frowned. "What is it?" Elise activated a holographic display, showing data streams from the alien command core. "Before they retreated, we decrypted parts of their archives. It's not just Earth they've targeted. Hundreds of worlds, thousands even, have fallen to their empire." Harris clenched his fists. "So, they're conquerors on a galactic scale." "Yes," Elise said, her voice quiet. "But here's the thing. Those worlds weren't like us. None of them fought back the way we did. Many surrendered outright, while others were destroyed. We're the first species to push them into retreat." Maya's eyes narrowed. "And now, they know we're a threat." On the alien homeworld, the Galactic Council gathered in a somber chamber. The leaders, once proud and unshaken, were now humbled. Elder Solix stood at the center, his glowing form radiating both wisdom and reproach. "You failed to heed my warnings," Solix said, his voice echoing in the chamber. "The humans are not like the others. They do not submit, they do not surrender, and they do not forget." A counselor, his scales dulled with shame, spoke hesitantly. "We underestimated them. We believed their primitive state made them weak." Solix's glow intensified. "Their strength lies not in their technology, but in their ability to adapt. Their history is one of survival, innovation, and relentless determination. You have awoken a force far greater than you can control." "What do we do now?" another counselor asked. Solix paused, his light dimming slightly. "We retreat from their sector. Earth must remain untouched. Spread the warning to every fleet. Do not provoke the humans." Back on Earth, a new era began. Governments united under a single council to oversee planetary defense and exploration. The victory over the aliens had ignited a sense of global solidarity that humanity had never known before. Inside the Zephyrian, now Earth's flagship, Maya convened with her team. "We can't just sit here and wait for them to return," she said. "If we want peace, we need to make sure they understand what happens if they challenge us again." Harris raised an eyebrow. "Are you suggesting we take the fight to them?" "Not yet," Maya replied. "But we need to be ready. That means building alliances, exploring beyond our solar system, and showing the galaxy that humanity is here to stay." Elise smiled faintly. "The irony is, they've given us the tools to do just that. Their technology is centuries ahead of ours, but we've made it our own." "Then let's use it," Maya said firmly. Weeks later, a human exploration fleet launched from Earth, its ships equipped with hybrid technology. Their mission: to make contact with other species and build alliances against the alien empire. In the meantime, the Zephyrian remained in Earth's orbit, a constant reminder of humanity's victory. Inside the ship, Maya and Elise worked on a secret project, a weapon powerful enough to deter any future invasion. "You think they'll come back?" Elise asked one evening, her voice quiet. "They will," Maya said without hesitation. "But next time, we won't just defend ourselves. We'll show them that humanity doesn't just survive, we thrive." Far across the galaxy, in a darkened war room, Commander Zira stood before the alien council, her pride shattered, but her resolve intact. "The humans humiliated us," she admitted, but they've also revealed their weakness. Elder Solix's glow brightened, his voice cutting through the room. And what weakness is that, Commander? Zira sneered. Their hope, their belief in unity. It's a fragile thing. We can shatter it. Solix's light dimmed. If you attempt to provoke them again, Commander, you will not find me by your side. Humanity has proven itself. They are not to be underestimated. Zira's eyes narrowed. Then perhaps it's time for new leadership. On Earth, Maya stood on the observation deck of the Zephyrian, staring out at the stars. The scars of the battle were healing, but the lessons remained. They think we're fragile, she murmured. They think hope is a weakness. Harris joined her, a faint smile on his face. They don't understand that it's our greatest strength. Maya nodded. And if they come back, we'll remind them. Humanity doesn't break. We rise. The story ends with a final shot of Earth, its cities rebuilding, its people united, and its place in the galaxies secured. Above, the stars seemed just a little closer as humanity prepared to take its first steps into a larger universe. For the aliens, the warning was clear. Do not provoke the humans.